18-year-old Laila Harbert arrives at a hinge moment, a talented academy midfielder leaving the familiar rhythms of Arsenal's training ground to step into Portland's humid, raucous stadium nights. The headline is simple. A young English midfielder has signed on loan with one of the NWSL most watched clubs, but the story behind that headline moves in richer shades. A teenager who grew up in Arsenal's youth system now trading the short trips across North London for transatlantic flights, unfamiliar turf and a different kind of weekly battlefield. The move is official and direct. Portland Thorns announced the loan as a short-term reinforcement through the 2025 season, and Arsenal have framed this as a development step in a wider plan to give Harbert the regular minutes she needs to mature. Her CV at 18 already reads like a fast lesson in senior football. A product of the Arsenal Academy from a young age, she signed professional terms this year and has already tasted senior match time while building experience through loan spells away from home. Stints that include time with Watford and a recent spell at Southampton that pushed her into tougher, more combative environments. Those temporary moves showed coaches she can take the next step. Now the next step is overseas, testing adaptability as much as ability. Reporting from multiple outlets backed up the details of her pathway and the clubs involved, underlining that this is a planned strategic loan rather than a last-minute fix. Portland's interest makes sense when you watch the table. The Thorns sit in the chasing pack, and their season has turned into a balancing act between keeping momentum and plugging gaps with youthful energy. Bringing in a technically competent, domestically schooled midfielder who is comfortable on the ball offers a fresh dimension. She arrives into a squad hungry for the spark that can tilt tight matches. The NWSL weekly cadence, long trips, physical duels, and intense match schedules offers Harbert the kind of baptism that can accelerate growth faster than reserve minutes at home. League standings and reporting show Portland clustered around mid to upper table positions after 17 matches, a context that explains both the urgency and opportunity in signing a promising loan player. For Harbert personally, the challenge is twofold. On the pitch, she'll face a more direct, athletic style where space closes faster and recovery sprints are non-stop. Off the pitch, she'll manage life in a new culture, new teammates, and the pressure of being an overseas signing who is expected to contribute. Yet those pressures can be reframed as opportunity. Minutes in a competitive first team, exposure to different coaching philosophies, and the spotlight that comes from playing in a high-profile market like Portland can sharpen decision-making and fortify resilience. Coaches at Arsenal have often used loan moves like this to test whether a young player can translate youth talent into senior reliability, and the Thorns environment could be the perfect crucible. Tactically, Harbert's profile as a calm, composed midfield presence suits a team that wants to control tempo and yet also needs fresh legs to press and recycle possession. If she can adapt to the league's physicality without losing her technical edge, she could be the kind of rotational piece who changes games when she comes on. A late match stabilizer or an energetic starter who helps protect leads and spring counters. For Portland, the bet is short-term impact with long-term upside. For Arsenal, it's a real-time assessment of a young midfielder's readiness for sustained first-team minutes back home. Beyond the individual arc, the transfer speaks to a broader trend. Top English academies increasingly see the NWSL as a development destination where young players sharpen their robustness and mental toughness while getting real minutes under pressure. For viewers and fans, the story is compelling because it intersects identity, ambition, and the globalizing pathways of modern women's football. A teenager's personal growth story folded into the shifting strategies of two clubs on different continents. As Harbert settles in and the weeks pass, all eyes will be on how quickly she adjusts, how coaches use her, and whether this loan becomes a pivotal chapter in a career that's only just beginning.